Okay, welcome everyone to our last task one lesson. And inshallah, starting from next lesson, we're going to talk about essays. Okay, so in today's lesson, we talk about one more time, once again, formal, semi-formal, and informal letters. So let's begin with the marking criteria. You will be assessed in 4 areas: task achievement, coherence and cohesion, lexical resource, and grammatical range and accuracy. Task achievement, it's all about how well the question is answered, including identifying the key features. You have to ask yourself, have I addressed all the 3 bullet point directives or not? You have to be talking, you have to talk about the 3 bullet point directives. Okay, if you talk about the first one and didn't even mention the second and the third, then you will lose marks for task achievement and so on. Coherence and cohesion. We talked about this before, and we're going to be talking about this in the following lessons, inshallah, because it's also very important for writing essays. It's how the text is organized and how ideas are connected together logically to make it easy to follow. It has to do with the correct and varied use of linking words and referencing words. Words like however, if, when, before, after, whereas, on the other hand, the thing is. Of course, cohesive devices can be, I mean, we have formal cohesive devices and informal cohesive devices. Like when I say the thing is, Ahmed, is that I was busy last week. So the thing is, this is a cohesive device that I can use in formal letters. But on the other hand, by contrast, if could be, actually, some of them can be very formal and some of them can be semi-formal, like when, after, before, and so on. Okay. Lexical resource. It's the range of vocabulary that you use in the letter or the essay. You may lose marks. Actually, you will lose marks if you don't use some good vocabulary. Okay, we are going to see some good vocabulary in today's lesson. I'm sorry. Grammatical range and accuracy. The range and precision of the grammatical structure used. For example, in today's lesson, we are going to be using the present simple, the present progressive, the past simple, the past perfect, the future, some conditional sentences, the passive, and so on. So you have to use a variety of structures. Okay, and of course you have to use them correctly. Otherwise, what's the point, right? Now moving on to some tips regarding writing letters. Stop working on task 1 after 20 minutes because task 2 is worth more marks. So give yourself the full 40 minutes to complete your task 2 answer. Some people just waste maybe 30 or 35 minutes on task 1, and this is a big mistake. Don't ever do that. Okay. Divide your time and just spend no more than 20 minutes on task 1. If you write less than the minimum number of words, which of course the minimum number is 150 words for task 1 and 250 for task 2, you will lose marks. So practice as much as you can. You have to practice, and after you write your letter, of course at home, I don't mean at the in the exam, try to count the words. You will get a general idea about how many words you usually write. Okay, if you write less, then you know that you need to write more sentences and so on. Keep going back to the bullet point directives while planning and writing to make sure that you relate your response to the task as it is written. That's actually why we underline the key words, so that when I go back to the question, I remember what I'm doing. Okay, I remember that I need to write about the key words. Okay, stick to one main idea per paragraph, stated clearly in the topic sentence. Use the rest of the paragraph to develop and support that idea. Actually, we talked about this in the advanced course, that the one paragraph or a paragraph should have one topic sentence, which has the controlling idea, and the rest of the sentences are supporting sentences to this topic sentence. And with using cohesive devices, now you will score, you will get a high mark for cohesion and coherence. If you are taking the paper exam, do the following. Actually, if you type fast like me, I highly recommend that you take the computer-based exam. Okay, but if you don't, then you have no choice but to take the paper exam. You have to write legibly, because it's impossible to give a good mark if the writing is illegible. Okay. Also leave space between paragraphs, and if you need to cross out a word, do it neatly. You have to use contractions if you are writing an informal letter. For formal letters, don't ever use contractions. For semi-formal letters, you can use contractions. Okay, so let's move on to the following slide. Read the task and decide on the main purpose of the letter. Are you writing a letter to apologize or request more information or complain or what? So you have to establish this purpose. Okay. Establish the relationship between you and the person who will receive your letter. Do you know that person well? Is he your manager or your friend? Maybe your neighbor, maybe your instructor, and so on. Because if I'm writing to my manager, it would be a formal letter. If I'm writing to a friend, then it's an informal letter. My neighbor could be formal and or semi-formal, and so on. Take 2 minutes to underline keywords and to come up with a plan for your letter. This is very important. If you do not have a plan, then you will not be able to write a good letter. You have to have a plan. Decide if the letter is formal, semi-formal, or personal. Of course, personal means informal letter. You have to think about the kind of language that you need to use. For example, the main tense and the appropriate vocabulary. Maybe you want to use some modal verbs like can or might to soften the language, or to ensure politeness, or to indicate that something is not definite. You might want to consider using indirect questions. We are going to talk about that in this lesson, inshallah. Of course, you have to use cohesive devices so that you can move smoothly from sentence to sentence or paragraph to paragraph. Like when I'm writing an informal letter, I could say something like, the thing is that I need, and then I continue the sentence, the rest of the sentence. Use a variety of sentence types, but at the same time, keep things simple. Don't try to write very long sentences with 50 words. If you remember, in the intermediate course, I think in lesson 71 or maybe 70, we talked about long sentences and how you can write very long sentences with 50 or 60 words correctly. Okay, but we said that this should be avoided because you have to keep things simple. Don't complicate things, okay? Remember, you don't need to include any addresses. You might want to include a friendly greeting in the introduction. Remember the main overall purpose of your letter at all times, using the keywords you underlined. You should avoid too much repetition and choose your words carefully and use the appropriate tone. We are going to talk about that in the upcoming lessons, of course, about essay writing. Try to end politely and use your first name for friends and your full name for strangers. Okay. Now let's see our first letter. In today's lesson, we're going to talk about 3 letters: formal, informal, and semi-formal. Let's begin with the informal one. You arranged to visit a friend in England, but an important event at home now means that you must change the dates of your visit. Write a letter to your friend. In your letter, explain the important event, apologize for the situation, suggest a new arrangement. Write at least 150 words. You do not need to write any addresses. Begin your letter as follows. Dear, of course, you need a name, so you could write your friend's name. Now we need to come up with the plan, and we have to do this fast. Of course, at home, you might take some time, maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes to come up with a plan. It's fine, but you have to practice more and more. You have to write your letter with everything. I mean, come up with a plan and underline the keywords, write the letter, and finish it in less than 20 minutes. So keep practicing. Okay. If you do a very good letter in 1 hour, then it's a big problem. Then we have a problem here. Okay, because in the exam you only have 20 minutes, not an hour. Okay, 1/3 of the time. That's it. So here I underlined the word arranged. Visit a friend in England. Important event. Change the dates your visit. I'm sorry. Explain the important event. Apologize. Suggest a new arrangement. So these are the key words or key expressions. One, who will receive the letter? Organization or individual? Of course, he is my friend, so I'm writing to an individual. The relationship, someone that I know well, a little, don't know at all. Of course, I know my friend very well. The purpose of the letter, it's apology and explaining. You can have two purposes, it's fine. I need to apologize and explain that I can't come. Okay, so you could write explain or explaining, it doesn't really matter. You are just writing keywords for yourself, actually. Okay, it doesn't, these keywords don't have to be grammatically correct because this is the plan, not the letter. Style and tone, formal or personal, friendly or neutral? Of course, it's personal and it's friendly. Now we have to come up with some words or expressions to outline my letter, our letter. Okay, so for the first bullet point directive, explain the important event. I would say tennis competition. Maybe I have a tennis competition and it's a great honor to play. That's why I won't be able to go to England. Okay, then apologize. I will justify the cancellation. Need practice. I need some time to practice, so I will not be able to come. Suggest a new arrangement. Can take time off later. Can use same airline ticket, so I can come after a few months or something. Okay, so this is the outline of the plan. Okay, I need to decide some grammatical issues. Okay, the verb tenses, I will use present, past, present perfect, and future. I might use modal verbs like could you, would it be possible? And I will end my letter with, I'm looking forward to hearing from you, to indicate the need for a response, because I need Ahmed to write back to me. Okay. For the third grammatical section of your plan, you might want to skip it. Okay, just focus on the purpose of the letter, the formality, is it formal or informal, semi-formal, and the plan itself. Okay. Okay, here we have some useful expressions. How are things with you? I could start an informal letter with this expression. How are things with you? I was chosen to play tennis for my regional team. I was chosen, the passive form. I wonder if it's possible for me to visit you in April. I wonder if it's possible for me to visit you in April. As we learned in the intermediate course, we said that we could use the past progressive tense here to sound more polite. So I could say, I was wondering if it's possible for me to visit you in April. Okay, then I can take some time off in April. I want you to notice the prepositions. How are things with you? I was chosen to play tennis for my team or my regional team. I wonder if it's possible for me to visit you in April. I can take some time off in April. Is April a possibility for you? Okay. I won't be able to visit you for the first week of April because I will be busy for the first week or in the first week of April. I'm afraid something has come up. I'm afraid that something has happened. It's in the present perfect form. because it has to do with the present time. Okay, there is an effect in the present time. I hope you will understand my situation. I'm sorry, but this probably means that I won't be able to come. I must say that I was surprised that I had been selected. Okay, I had been selected. It's passive, but in the past perfect tense. Okay, past perfect passive form. I must say that I was surprised. Maybe they selected me last week and I was surprised yesterday that I was selected before that. Okay, so all these expressions can be used in the letter. Okay, here is the first exercise. I want you to pause the video and try to come up with the answer for the gapped sample. How are things with you? So in this exercise, you have to come up with the verb in the correct form. For the first one, how are things with you? It's in the present simple tense. Okay, so I want you to pause the video and try to come up with the verbs on your own and come back when you're done. But this is the letter anyway. Okay, now let's talk about the answers and the letter itself. As you can see, we have here 3 paragraphs. We have the first sentence. It's a question. How are things with you? It's like, I hope you are doing well. Okay, but in the form of a question. And here I have, I'm looking forward to hearing from you. I'm looking forward to hearing from you, not to hear from you, because to is a preposition. It's not part of the infinitive. So you have to say to hearing from you, not to hear from you. Okay, then best wishes and Michael. Now let's take a look at the verbs. I'm afraid something has come up here, which will probably delay my visit to England. Of course, has come up because it's in the present perfect form. It happened before the present time, but there is an effect on the present time. I am busy right now. I will be busy for maybe the coming few weeks, the upcoming few weeks. Okay, for the next few weeks, which will probably delay my visit to England. Will, it takes the infinitive. Okay. Last week I was chosen to play tennis for my regional team in a national tournament. I was chosen because it's in the passive form. Somebody else chose me. Okay. It was completely unexpected. So this is good vocabulary. Completely. It's a good collocation. Completely unexpected. I didn't expect this to happen. I'm sorry, but this probably means that I won't be able to visit you for the first week of April. I won't. I will not. The future tense, the future simple tense. As we had planned. Oh, this is the past perfect tense. Okay, because as you know, the past perfect tense is used for things that happened before the past simple. Okay, so we arranged before the tournament, or I'm sorry, before that I was chosen. Maybe I was chosen last week. We had planned for the visit maybe 3 months ago or something. Okay, so it has to be in the past perfect tense. I must stay here and practice until the tournament begins. Of course, this is with until. It has to be in the present simple form later that month. Okay. I wonder if it's possible for me to visit you later in the year. I wonder if it's possible. We are going to talk about this structure. It's an indirect question. Okay. Okay. I can take some time off in early August and my air ticket can be changed with no problem. This is an can be changed. It's an adjective. Okay. Or maybe it's the passive form. What do you think? Okay. It's the passive form. Air ticket can be changed with no problem. Is August a possibility for you? Please write and let me know what your reaction is. I'm sure you realize that it's an honor to be selected to represent my region, and so I don't want to miss this great opportunity. I hope you will understand. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Here we have some structures that we need to talk about. Okay, like what your reaction is. It's not a question. If it's a question, I would say, what is your reaction? Okay, You follow the question word here, what, with the verb to be. What is your reaction? Okay, but this isn't a question. Okay, notice that the tone of the letter is friendly but polite and gentle, because the receiving friend may be disappointed and is also being asked to change his plans. So the tone of the letter is friendly. Actually, he is my friend, but the tone could be neutral, okay, or could be friendly. Of course, it has to be polite, but I'm talking about the tone that is friendly, okay, because he might be disappointed that I changed things. As we had planned is used to indicate that the original arrangements were made before the news of being selected to play tennis for the region. So as we had planned. This letter would score, would have a very good score in grammatical range and accuracy, of course, because we used a variety of structures. We used the present perfect simple, the passive form. We used the present simple, the past perfect simple. We used indirect questions, like I wonder if it's possible for me to visit you later in this in the year. We use direct questions. Is August a possibility for you? This is a direct question. Okay. As you can see, there's just one thing I need to tell you about. Okay, I'm sure you realize that it's an honor to be selected to represent your region. I'm talking to my friend, but has he been selected to represent his team, or am I talking about myself here? So don't say your region. I'm talking about me, not him. Okay, so I changed it to my region. Okay, I'm sure you realize that it's an honor to be selected to represent your region. No, my region. I'm the one that was chosen, not him. Okay, so to represent my region, not his region. Okay, I'm not talking about him. So I don't say your region. Okay, because I was selected to represent mine, not his. Okay. Anyway, the order of words is important in the expression. Let me know what your reaction is. The verb is placed at the end of the sentence, not in its more common position next to what, because this isn't a question. Ending with best wishes is one of several options in a letter to a friend. You could say all the best, love, but might be used if you are really closed. Okay. So this is the first letter. We have three paragraphs. Dear Ahmed and Michael, of course, because he is my friend, I wouldn't say Michael Yusuf. He knows me, okay? So he's not a stranger. We are friends. Moving on to the second letter. You paid a refundable deposit when you rented an apartment or a flat, okay? Because Americans use the word apartment and the British use the word flat. You left the apartment in good condition, but the landlord won't return your deposit. Write a letter to the landlord. In your letter, explain why you are writing. Ask for the return of your deposit. Inform the landlord of possible legal action. Write at least 150 words. Do not write any addresses. Begin your letter as follows. Dear something. So you need to write a name. You need to come up with a name. You need to put yourself in the situation. Okay. Imagine that you have actually done that. You paid a refundable deposit and the landlord won't return your deposit. Okay. So you have to start with underlining the first, I mean the keywords first. Paid a refundable deposit, rented an apartment, left in good condition, but the landlord won't return the deposit. This is the bullet point directives. Explain why you are writing. Ask for the return of your deposit. To ask, return deposit. Inform the landlord of possible legal action. Some people would use here a language that seems to be like they are threatening him. Okay, so you have to avoid that. It's like if you say something like, if the issue or problem isn't resolved, I will take action. It's like, what are you going to do? Are you going to kill him or what? So try to avoid using such language. We are going to talk about how to form or structure your letter. Okay. Who will receive the letter? Organization or individual? Of course, he's an individual. Relationship, a little. I don't know him very well. He's not my friend. Okay, he's the landlord, and it's a request. It's mainly a request. The tone of the letter, it's formal, of course. Neutral, it's not friendly. Neutral, firm but polite. I'm not going to attack him with words. Okay. Pay pay me back or else. No, we don't use this language. Okay. Now for the plan itself, explain. Maybe I would say something. I don't understand reason why deposit hasn't been returned. Ask for the return of your deposit. Ask and emphasize good condition of apartment. The apartment was clean, no breakages. So there's no reason not to give me back my money. Okay. Inform the landlord of possible legal action. Indicate possible legal action. Kept the terms of agreement. So have no other alternatives. It's like saying, I kept to my end of the deal. You have to keep yours. But this is, of course, informal language. I can't use this this expression. Okay. I kept to my end of the deal. You have to keep yours. This is informal language. Okay. For the verb tenses, mainly present, past, and future. The language, I could use the passive to sound formal. We have done that before. If deposit not returned, I will be forced to do something. Maybe I will seek legal advice. End with yours sincerely. You could end with yours faithfully because it's more formal than yours sincerely. Okay. Now, let's take some useful expressions. I'm writing to request the return of the $200 deposit I paid for when I rented the apartment, something like that. Okay. Before I rented apartment number A2 for the month of May. This was the condition of the apartment or flat when I returned the keys. So I want you to notice the use of the prepositions here. I'm writing to request the return of. Before I rented apartment number blah blah for the month of May. This was the condition of the apartment. There were no breakages and no damage to fittings or furniture. So it's damage to, not in. We could use in some other situations. I respectfully request that my deposit be paid in full. So the collocation in full. We took a lesson about prepositions with nouns in the intermediate course. I think it was 52. Maybe, I'm not sure. Anyway, if we are unable to resolve this matter in a satisfactory manner, maybe I will do something. It was my understanding that the deposit would be returned if the apartment was vacated clean and undamaged. I will have no alternative but to seek legal advice if we are unable to resolve this matter. Okay, so these are 8 expressions you can use in such a letter. Okay. This is another exercise, your second gapped answer or gapped sample answer exercise. Dear Mr. Peter, I'm writing to request the return of the $200 deposit. I paid to you. I rented apartment number A2 Main Street for the month of May. I telephoned your office. I was told you are not intending to repay this money. I'm unable to understand the reason for this. As you can see, we are missing some connecting words or expressions. Some cohesive devices are missing. Okay, I want you to pause the video. I will do the first one for you. I'm writing to request the return of the $200 deposit that I paid to you. Okay, you have to you have to include cohesive devices like if, when, that, before, after, therefore, however, and so on. Okay. Now pause the video and come back when you're done. Okay, this is the answer. I'm writing to request the return of the $200 deposit that I paid to you before I rented apartment number A2, Main Street, for the month of May. When I telephoned your office, I was told that you are not intending to repay this money, and I'm unable to understand the reason for this. Of course, this is a semi-formal letter. Um, Actually, I mean, it's a formal letter. I'm sorry. If it wasn't a formal letter, I could say, and I can't understand why. Okay. I can't understand why, but this is a formal letter. So I said, and I'm unable to understand the reason for this. Of course, in a formal letter, you can't use contractions. So you have to say, I am, not I'm. When I signed the rental agreement, it was my understanding that the deposit would be returned if the apartment was vacated clean and undamaged. This was the condition of the flat when I returned the keys. The whole apartment was in immaculate condition. In immaculate condition, this is very good vocabulary here. It's a collocation, obviously. And there were no breakages and no damage to fittings or furniture. I believe that I have abided by the terms of the agreement. Abide is also a good verb. Abide by the rules of the terms of the agreement, and therefore I respectfully request. This is we are using polite language here. I'm not threatening him. That my deposit be repaid in full. I shall have no. Shall is also formal. Um, I shall. I could say I will, but shall is formal. I shall have no alternative but to seek legal advice if we are unable to resolve this matter in a satisfactory manner. This matter in a satisfactory manner. Yours sincerely, and of course, I have to sign with Michael Yusuf, my full name. Okay. There are some things I want you to notice about this letter. Note the use of a variety of verb tenses in the letter. Past tense, when we wanted to report events that happened before writing the letter, and the present or present progressive for the situation at the time of writing. I'm writing to request the return of my $200 deposit that I paid to you before I rented the apartment. Actually, here you could use the past perfect tense that I had paid to you before I rented the apartment. Okay. When I telephoned your office, when I called your office, of course, telephoned is more formal than called. I was told this is the passive form. Okay. And I want you to note that the use of the passive form I was told would be returned and be repaid to signal a formal context. In a formal context, in a formal letter, we use passive forms, the passive form of the tenses, of course, the verb tenses. When we have we have used connecting words to link the ideas in the letter, like that, before, and, when, if, therefore, but. Okay, so this is how we connected the ideas or the sentences in our letter. We have used good vocabulary that's appropriate for the letter, like when we said in immaculate condition, in perfect condition, abide by the terms of the agreement, seek legal advice, unable to resolve this matter, and a satisfactory manner. So we used here some good collocations, some formal vocabulary. Note the tone of the letter is firm but polite, even in the third paragraph. Okay, I'm not threatening him. I said I respectfully request. I respectfully request. Ending the letter with yours sincerely. We could end it with yours faithfully, but yours sincerely is fine. And then my name, my full name, of course, because this is a formal letter, Michael Yusuf. Okay. Now we have our third letter. You saw an advertisement for a skiing course in Canada, but you have one or two problems and can't stay for the whole course. Write a letter to your course to the course director. In your letter, explain your interest in the course, describe your problems, find out if a refund is possible. Of course, the usual, right? At least 150 words. Don't use any addresses. Begin your letter as follows: Dear Sir or Madam. Okay. Let's first come up with the underline the keyword, then come up with the plan. You saw an advertisement, so it was an advertisement for a skiing course in Canada, but you have one or two problems and can't stay for the whole course. So these are the keywords. So advertisement, skiing course, Canada, one or two problems, can't stay for the whole course. So because of the problems, I won't be able to stay for the whole course. Write a letter to the course director. So I will be writing to the course director. This is very important. I'm not writing to the customer service agents. Okay. Explain interest course, describe problems, find out if a refund is possible. Okay. Who will receive the letter? It's the organization, but actually it could be the individual because I'm writing directly to the course director. Okay. It doesn't really matter here. It won't affect the letter or our style. The purpose of this letter is I want to explain the problem, explain that I'm interested, and explain the problem. So it's explaining. I don't know him. So the relationship, it's with someone, I'm writing to someone that I don't know. That's why I said dear sir or madam. Okay. The style and the tone, it's semi-formal, of course. This isn't informal because I don't know him. And at the same time, it's not formal because I'm going to take a course. So I'm not writing about a problem or a request. Okay. So to my manager or something. So he's a course director. Okay. So actually, if I will be, when I take the course, I will be friendly to him. So it's semi-formal. Now let's come up with the plan. Explain your interest in the course. I always wanted to ski. Maybe I will use the past perfect tense. We talked about this in the intermediate course, if you remember. I have always wanted, I have dreamed about, if you remember these expressions. In the second part of the present perfect simple tense lessons, in the second part, we said, I have always wanted to, I have always dreamed about. Problems, I don't have skis, I can't buy them right now, and I have poor eyesight. I need to find out if a refund is possible, can't stay for the whole course, for the whole course, I'm sorry. Partial return is possible. Okay, just keywords. I'm not writing correct sentences. Partial return possible or not. That's it. Okay. For the verb tenses, it's mainly the present simple and perfect and present perfect simple. Language, I would use expressions such as I'm very interested in, I'm excited about, I'm afraid that I can't maybe attend the whole course because of the problems I'm going to talk about. Is it possible to do something, maybe have a refund or something? I would like to know if it's possible to. Okay, I will end the letter with yours sincerely. So let's now begin with the, actually, I need to talk about direct and indirect questions first. We use direct questions to ask direct questions. That's it. Is it possible for me to have a meeting with Ahmed? This is a direct question. Sometimes for some sensitive questions, you need to use indirect questions. You would start your sentence. Actually, it's not a question, okay, in itself. You would use an expression such as, I would like to know if it is possible for me to have a meeting with Ahmed. You don't invert the verb with the subject. No. Okay, like the real question. We say, is it? Okay, but this is, we continue the sentence after this expression because it's not a direct question. So it's a sentence. Okay, I would like to know if, I don't say is it, no, it is possible for me to have a meeting with Ahmed. Another example, is your course suitable for someone like me? This is a direct question. Indirectly, you could use an expression such as, I was wondering if your course is suitable for someone like me. I was wondering if your course is suitable. We don't say if is your course, no. If your course is. Is it possible to receive a refund? I would like to know if it's possible to receive a refund. Is it possible for me to hire skis? I wonder. Of course, I was wondering is more polite than I wonder. Okay, because it's in the past progressive form, not the past, not the present simple form. I wonder if it's possible for me to hire skis. So it's not a direct question, it's just a question inside a sentence. Okay, you don't invert subject and verb positions like in questions. Okay, you continue the sentence after these expressions. I wonder if, I would like to know if, I was wondering if. Okay, now this is our third gapped sample answer. It's missing the prepositions. Okay, and prepositions, as you know, is very important, and many people or many students um, actually, when it comes to prepositions, they make a lot of mistakes. I'm writing something response to your advertisement in the daily news, a skiing course. I have always wanted something ski, so I'm very interested something joining the course. However, I don't have my own skis and don't wish something purchase skis at this time. Is it possible something me to hire skis and other equipment, duration, and so on? I want you to pause the video and come back when you're done with the exercise. Okay, take as much time as you want. Okay, and come back when you're done. Okay, this is the answer. Dear sir or madam, I'm writing in response to your advertisement in the daily news of April 2nd for a skiing course. I have always wanted to ski, so I'm very interested in joining the course. As you can see, the language is, the writer is enthusiastic about it. Okay, he's excited. However, this is a compound sentence here, as you can see. I have always wanted to ski. Actually, no, this is not a compound sentence. It's a compound complex. So I am very interested in joining the course. However, I do not have my own skis and do not wish or don't wish to purchase skis at this time. And this is a semi-formal letter, so you can use contractions. Okay, and this is a very good sentence. Okay, it has here, however, in the middle, it's connecting the first part of the sentence with the second part. If you forgot, you need to review the lessons about writing from the intermediate course. Is it possible for me to hire skis and other equipment for the duration of the course? Is it possible for me for the duration of the course? Also, I have rather poor eyesight and have to wear special glasses all the time. Is your course suitable for someone like me? I'm afraid that I have to be back in Thailand by 5th of May, so I'm unable to stay for the whole 4 weeks. I would like to know, this is an indirect question. I would like to know if it's possible to receive a partial refund, a part of the money that I paid, okay, if I have to leave 1 week before the end of the course. I'm looking forward very much, because I'm very excited about the course, to hearing from you. I'm really excited about learning to ski. Okay, note that the purpose of the letter is made clear in the first sentence. I'm writing in response to your advertisement in the Daily News of April 2nd for a skiing course. Note the use of specific and descriptive language. Okay, you have to be descriptive and you have to be specific. I told you have to imagine that you are actually writing a letter and that you are actually interested in such a course. So we said expressions such as daily news of April 2nd. So I read your advertisement in the newspaper that's called Daily News, and it was in April 2nd. Okay, the day was on April 2nd. I mean, the newspaper was on April 2nd. And be back in Thailand by 5th of May. Okay, so this is the specific language we used. The expression for the duration of can be useful when you want to talk about the whole period of time taken by something like a course. For the duration of the course, okay? Is it possible for me to hire skis and other equipment for the duration of the course? For the duration of something, maybe for the duration of the holiday, and so on. The letter is semi-formal, and we have used expressions such as I have always wanted to. You could say something like I have always dreamed about. Okay, I am very interested in, and I'm very excited about. We have also used direct and indirect questions. For example, is it possible for me to hire skis? This is a direct question. It has a question mark at the end, of course. And I would like to know if it's possible to receive a partial refund if I have to leave 1 week before the end of the course. So use indirect questions to ask sensitive questions indirectly. Okay. So in today's lesson, we talked about some useful expressions for formal, semi-formal, and informal letters. This concludes our discussion about task 1, and inshallah, starting from next lesson, we are going to have longer lessons about essay writing. The lesson could be, each lesson could be maybe 90 minutes, not 19, 90 minutes. Okay. So see you soon, inshallah, and goodbye.